Driver taught me how to drive. He was about probably 78 years old, and he went through all the 30s and 40s and 50s, the years the trucks really didn't have any brakes. He just showed me a few ideas I've always used, and it works no matter if you're towing a little trailer, big trailer, semi-truck. It doesn't matter your weight. It's all the same technique. I don't jab my brakes coming down a hill. I never do that. I think it causes a lot of brake wear. It causes your brakes to get really hot, and then you cool them back down and get them really hot and cool them down. And it's just hard on your brakes. I apply a steady, constant pressure all the way down. And what that old man taught me was get the brakes up to one temperature. Not too hot. You only want to use about a quarter of your actual braking power of the whole vehicle, and you get them up to one temperature, and you've always got good solid brakes that way. If something happens, you can always stop, and it's always worked out really well for me. Doesn't matter if you got a gas engine, diesel, whatever. It all works the same. So we got 8 miles. This says 7% grade. It's not the steepest hill in the country by no means, but there's a lot of wrecks up here in the summertime, and there's been a lot of truck drivers die on it. So I'm going to drop a gear right here. Most of us use a Prodigy controller, and I don't know if you can see it. I like to have it set around 2. This trailer here I've got on B1 coming off a hill. If you use B2 or B3, you've got a big gain, and if you're on and off the brakes, you're going to smoke your trailer brakes. So if you're coming off a big steep hill and you're going to stay on your brakes, you can use those, but this trailer's kind of small. I got it on B1. That's a good spot. That's a good place to run off a hill with. If you're using your brakes a lot, you're not getting that gain every time. And this engine, it tacks up around, I think 2,900, 3 grand is its maximum. So we put it right up close to there. I'll never let my foot off the brake all the way down. And right now we're using just about a quarter of my braking capabilities of the truck. And I'll play with that RPM. On a gas engine, you can go 600-800 RPMs. On my diesel, I'll run at 2,500 to 2,800, somewhere in there. If you look at our controller, maybe adjust it just a little bit. I want to see that thing right around 2. And that's your controller goes to 9 something, 9.0 or 9.9, whatever. So between 2 and 2.5 is a quarter of your braking capability. So if you run off a hill only using that much brake, you could pretty much go off a hill forever and never smoke your brakes, ever, and never get them hot. Cause very, very little brake wear. If you just remember that, you need to pick the right gear when you go off the hill, that you're only using a quarter of your braking capabilities. My Prodigy's, it's on B1, and we're at 2.1. It's just staying steady right at 2.1. That's perfect. Now, if I had a bigger trailer like a 10,000-12,000 pound fifth wheel, I'd be dropping off this in third gear. There's been I don't know how many motorhomes and campers catch fire up here, catch their brakes on fire, burn the whole rig down. They probably lose 10, 15 a year. I don't know how many semi-trucks have just lost it. I mean, they've lost it all clear off the side of this mountain. I've still got my foot on the brake. And as the hill stair steps, you know, it gets flatter and then steeper. I'll let off the brake just slightly, but I'll never let off the brake pedal all the way down. Fourth gear, that was a perfect guess for the hill. I came up in fifth. It feels really good. My controller's still at 2.1. Still on the brakes. Controller's still at 2.1. Like I said, these brakes now they're set at one temperature. You're not going to be getting them hot and then trying to cool them back off. And if you're in a steep area, you're going to be on them more than you're off of them. And by the time you get to the bottom of the hill, you've caused a whole lot of heat, a lot of brake wear that's not needed, both on your trailer and your truck. My Prodigy's still set at 2.1. So that means I'm still right around a quarter of the braking power. And a lot of times you'll find if you do this, you'll go faster down the hill than you will by jabbing your brakes. By the time you get to the bottom, you went down faster at one steady speed. Better than, you know, if I let off the brakes, bringing it up to 29, then bringing it back to 2,000, back up to 29, 2,000, you know, you're just creating a whole lot of brake heat. And this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got a Pilot with a 14-foot little camper behind it, a gas pickup, diesel, doesn't matter. If you use a quarter of your braking power down any hill, you'll never ever lose your brakes, and you'll probably never have much brake wear. Gas engines, keep them up around, you know, 4,000, 4,500, ain't gonna hurt them a bit coming down a hill. Got a bunch of motorcycles here. Now, semi-truck, I seen him way ahead, so I started applying a little more brake. I'm going to let off my paddle right there and get around him. Get out of everybody's way. Well, I'm tacking 2,800, and my Prodigy's back to 2.1 again. We'll just hold her steady there. And I know a lot of trucks got Jake brakes and braking inside the transmissions, you know, and all that stuff, but you put enough weight on those trucks and they got the same problem anybody else has got. So, you know, if you got Jakes and all that stuff, use them and don't use so much brake, and you're not going to have, you know, near the issues. I don't have a Jake, so yeah, I still got to do it the old-fashioned way, which is fine. I run, well, I still got factory brakes on the rear, 180,000 miles, and I just replaced them on the front. So, but we're off the hill now, so let her rip. Thanks for watching.